Hello friends, Tao here, and welcome to my Legion pre-patch survival guide. And we're going to be talking about basically everything that I think you guys need to know to be ready and prepared for when the Legion pre-patch drops, to make sure that you can navigate through all the mayhem of the coming expansion. Now, I'm going to be talking about a couple different things here. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be, but we're basically going to be hitting what I think are going to be the most important points and going through them as quickly as possible. Now, there's been rumors that the pre-patch will drop on Tuesday, the 19th of July. I personally think that it would make a little bit more sense for it to drop maybe more on the 26th, but a lot of people are saying 19th. There's a lot of rumors. I'm going to make sure this gets out just in case so that everyone is prepared. But anyways, guys, the most important first thing that I want to talk about is the camera distance changes. So if you guys don't know, in WoD right now, you can actually zoom out pretty far. Basically, if you're standing in somewhere like Stormwind, you can have it zoomed out to be about that far out. And in Legion, that's going to be a lot closer. It's going to be something a lot more akin to that kind of distance. So it's very easy to see here the kind of distance that we're talking about. This is WoD. This is Legion. Not everybody plays with their camera maxed out like this. If you're a Mythic Raider, you do. There's no discussion. You play like this. Because if you're a Mythic Raider and you don't play like this, I don't know how the fuck you survive. And everyone's going to have to get adjusted to playing with a closer zoom in. For most people, that won't be an issue. For people like me who, once they discovered the max camera distance, never went back, it's going to be difficult. But I feel, honestly, that's probably the first most important thing to talk about, because it's the most noticeable thing that most players are going to find. And honestly, there's no change or fix for it. Blizzard hasn't commented on fixing it. Blizzard hasn't commented on changing it. I think this is part of the game now, and I'm not happy about it at all. Whether this is going to be good or bad for rating, I don't know. Some rooms, like Xavius's room, limit your camera distance anyways, but overall, this, for being the first point in this video, this is a very negative thing. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the rest now. So, you see me here in the beta. What's the next most important big thing for you guys to pay attention to? Well, my friends, it is something I'm super fucking excited about. The goddamn wardrobe, the appearance tab. What you're going to do, as soon as you log into the game, everything that is in your character's bank, that is in your character's bags, that is equipped on your character, or that is in your void storage will be added to the appearance tab. You can see I have all these helms, and this is from my character, my demon hunter, plus my monk that I character copied to the beta realms. I have all of these things unlocked, and that goes for shoulders, back, chest, shirts. Shirts are added to this. Tabards are added to this. Wrists, but you know, if you actually fucking collect bracers, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you. Hands, waist, legs, feet, weapons, weapon enchantments, secondary weapon enchantments, offhand, blah blah blah, everything. Everything is in this appearance tab, and that's the first, biggest, most important thing that you have to, well, that's the second most important thing that you have to know. Basically, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to log on to all your characters, make sure that all of their different transmogs are in your appearance tab, make sure that you collect all of it. Some of you guys that are big transmoggers like me are going to immediately get a bunch of achievements for unlocking things, and essentially you want to fill out this wardrobe, and you want to make sure that everything is taken into account for your collection, because then comes the Purge. Yes, guys, the Purge. And I'm not talking about that Hollywood, negative, killing people shit. No, I'm talking about breaking off the chains, breaking off the restrictions, the bank storage, the bag storage, the awfulness that is the glory of our Lord and Savior transmogrification. I'm talking about removing all the useless gear that you kept around just to be fucking prettier by 1 pixel than the other motherfucker in your raid, because it automatically makes your DPS and survivability go up. It's proven fact. Everybody knows this. I'm talking about removing all the old gear that you've collected through what is now Cataclysm, the end of Cataclysm, through Mists of Pandaria, Warlords, all the other expansions of the past. You got to get rid of that shit. You need your bank and your bags. And oh yeah, that one thing that they added specifically to alleviate this problem that never actually, that helped but didn't solve the entire thing. Look at this shit. This is my void storage. You want to get rid of all of that shit. You need to dump it out. Get rid of it. All these things, you need to fucking... If you have an enchanter, disenchant the gear. Get rid of the gear. Make sure it's in your appearance tab first. But I'm talking fucking liquidate it. Liquidate all of it. You want to go ahead and remove all of it, your void storage as well. What you're going to want to use your void storage for is things like legendary items. So for example, I have here all of the legendary cloaks. Why? Because I'm a madman. Basically, I'll be able to put them into my void storage. I'll forever be able to keep them, and just remember about having them. You can't transmogrify them, sadly, but of course you also have things like the war glaives, or any other legendary weapons that you ever got throughout the expansions. Basically, things that mean a lot to you, put them in your void storage. Go ahead and get rid of all your bags. Get rid of everything in your bags and everything in your bank that you absolutely don't need. And with that, keep in mind, please, there's going to be items that were not toys in Warlords of Draenor. Things like Aviana's Feather, things like the ash-covered horn from Timeless Isle and Mists of Pandaria. These things will become toys in Legion. That's right. Go through your bag very carefully, read the details and the tooltips to everything that you have. Anything that you might think would be a toy, go ahead and read it, make sure you add it to your toy box, and then go through your alts that may have the same item, and go ahead and clear that out as well. It's very, very important. A lot of things are toys. Some things still aren't toys. Please keep that in mind. Make your life easier. Get rid of all that stuff. And finally, along with getting rid of everything that you have, your reagents. I honestly, truly believe that unless you're specifically going to make a bunch of stuff for Demon Hunters, and keep in mind that's going to be the next point that we're going to talk about, but Demon Hunters will not release with the pre-patch. They will release a little bit later on. Keep that in mind. We're going to talk about that later. You need to get rid of your mats as soon as possible. Unless it's specifically being used for something like enchants, which I'm going to still be making enchants until like the day the expansion launches. Unless it's being used to make leather gear for Demon Hunters. Unless you have a very specific purpose, get rid of that shit. Because I promise you, the moment the expansion drops, these things will have no value anymore. Okay? Keep that in mind. If you're trying to make some gold, get rid of shit you don't need. Unless it's for like mounts or anything cosmetic people would want from this expansion later on and that are difficult to get rid of it, liquidate it, make your life a lot easier. Alright guys, and that brings me to that point that I was talking about earlier, Demon Hunters. So, as you can see here, my nice cool Demon Hunter with his awesome transmog. Just keep in mind, I do want to point out something about the appearance tab. You still need to go to a transmogrifier to change it. And you can actually see here I have the mount. You can see that things are pretty much changed in the UI a little bit. You can actually see the actual model and how it's going to appear on your character. But you cannot just transmogrify from the appearance tab. No, if you look at the appearance tab one more time, we're just going to go ahead and take a look at that. It just shows you that you need a transmogrifier to transmogrifier. But anyways, guys, Demon Hunters. Demon Hunters will not release at the same time as the pre-patch. Once again, Demon Hunters do not come out with the pre-patch. They come out a couple of weeks later. Apparently sometime in the middle of August. Which, another talking point for later, Demon Invasions, almost at the same time. And why is this? It's because things are happening in a timeline. There's going to be a build-up to the Legion's arrival. There's going to be a build-up to the Legion invading Azeroth, and the Broken Shore events, and the Demon Hunters breaking out of prison, and all hell going fucking loose. So, Demon Hunters, what do you have to keep in mind about these things? They will be released a little bit later on. You will not, I repeat, will not have access to anything more than 2 talent tiers. I will say this one more time. You can't access your talents beyond 100. So you get access to Abyssal Strike, Agonizing Flames, Razor Spikes, Feast of Souls, Fallout, Burning Alive, if you are a Vengeance Demon Hunter, and then a bunch of other talents if you're a Havoc. But we're tanks here, so we don't fucking give a shit about Havoc. But anyways, you basically don't have access to all of your talents. No one will have access to the artifact weapons, so you're going to be missing that as well. You will be bare bones in the biggest, just most bold way. You won't have access to a lot of things. You'll still be able to play them. You will come out of your starting zone with about 700 eye level with a mix of 780 to 790 gear that can be bonus upgraded to be epic in the starting zone. Your weapons will be Warglaives that are around 740. It depends. I think they've changed like twice. So you will have decent decent gear, but not the best gear. If you go into Hellfire Citadel, you will get upgrades. It's not like you're going to come out of their starting zone and just kind of like pwn all the noobs. No, none of that bullshit. You can get some gear up. Gear, especially from, again, talking point for a little bit later, Demon Invasions. Keep that in mind. We're going to keep saying it. But also you can go to Hellfire Citadel. You can get some upgrades. You could probably do some Tanan stuff, get some more there. You will have ways to gear yourself up, be better. You can do crafted gear. Apparently the crafted gear limit will be removed in Legion, but I'm not sure if that goes retroactively to affect the Warlord's crafting or not. But just keep in mind, Demon Hunters, not at the start, a little bit later. And when they come out is when all the shit starts to hit the fan, and when we start getting into the really cool invasions and actual events of the pre-patch event cycle that will lead into the expansion on August 30th. So keep in mind, Demon Hunter is super fucking cool, but not immediately. Keep that name saved, though, because you know there's going to be that one asshole that takes it. Keep that in mind, guys. And that brings us to the next talking point. Alright guys, and that next talking point is the Demon Invasions. Now, what you want to keep in mind is that this will not happen when the pre-patch launches. There's going to be little hints, there's going to be little things going on around the place that kind of signifies that something's going down. But Legion, the Demon Invasions, just like the Demon Hunters, will be coming out a little bit later with the expansion. And these Demon Invasions are basically scenarios that happen out in the old world. Yes, that is correct. You will get to go and explore old zones and, you know, fan favorites, things that people love, and it's basically a 4-stage scenario that, depending on when you get there, you're going to be getting different parts of things that you're going to be doing. The first stage is usually defend an area from a bunch of demons. Then you have to go kill a commander, someone that's out there organizing people. Then you have to repel forces in the area, and I feel, and from what I've read, this is more of a big zone. So if you're in the Barrens, or if you're like, I don't actually think that the Barrens is one of the areas, but if you're in the Barrens, maybe you're trying to defend this little area, you kill a commander, and then now there's forces all over the zone that you and everyone else in the zone is trying to go out and combat, and once you finish that off, then there's a boss that everyone has to join together. You kill that boss, and you get some rewards. Now, the rewards are two different things. There are unique weapon models that can drop. There's even Warglaves, so again, that kind of signifies that's when Demon Hunters are going to be out. But there's all kinds of unique weapons. Some of them are decent for transmog, other ones not so much. I believe there's 16 models all in all. I like the Warglaves. If you're a Demon Hunter, especially Vengeance, if you know how shitty the artifact weapon looks by default, it's something to keep in mind. But basically, unique weapon models that can drop, and those weapon models can be upgraded and boosted to item level 725. And how do you upgrade those things? Well, you also get this currency called a Nether Shard. So these Nether Shards, you basically, if you're an Orgrimmar, if you're a Horde player, I'm really sorry if you're Alliance, I can't show you where you go to do that because I don't play Alliance, but if you're a Horde player, you come to Orgrimmar and you're going to see this Demon Hunter camp here. And if you go over to this Provisioner, or this Reluctant Quartermaster, you can purchase things with the Nether Shards. You get multiple Nether Shards for killing things out in these invasions, for completing the invasion, killing the boss. You get all these types of cool items, and what you can do with these is, first of all, you have a pet that you can buy, and I highly recommend, if you're a person that likes to be taking advantage of, you know, moments to make some gold in the future, I highly suggest that you try to get as many of these Fellbats as you possibly can, because maybe on in the future they'll be worth something unless they drop from some other area. You can also get Coalesced Fell. These upgrade a Legion Invasion weapon with greater power up to item level 725. So if you haven't been raiding, or if you don't have that strong of a weapon, you can take advantage of this to make your item level, your unique modeled weapons 725, which is, I think, like one of the first, bottom Hellfire Citadel. I can't really remember for sure, Mythic. But that's cool. You can go ahead and upgrade it like that. You can also get these ensembles. So what does this mean? This is an ensemble cloth, leather, mail, and plate. So what is this transmog here? It's a unique set that you can get. You basically have to get 200 of these Nether Shards. You buy this, it gets added to your artifact, not your artifact, but your appearance tab, and then you can have multiple different items that you can just mix and match. If you're a transmog whore like me, you want this. You want to go ahead and get this. Specifically as a tank, I'm obviously only going to really need the leather and plate, but you know, as a transmog whore, maybe someday they have a cloth tank, and I'm going to want the cloth armor. I don't know how often these Nether Shards are going to be dropping, so I'm not entirely sure how long it's going to take to get this, but you have until August 31st, so you better get grinding. You can also get a cloak which has apparently a unique model. Yeah, that's pretty cool. black and green. Pretty nice. You can get that nice little transmog, but also a neck, different necks, I should say, rings and trinkets that are all 700 eye level. It's just a nice little boost to help get you ready for the expansion, essentially. So again, Demon Invasions, four stages. There's scenarios. You're going around killing things in the old world. You get nether shards, and you purchase different items with the nether shards here at the Demon Hunter camp. This guy sells nothing of importance. Okay, perfect. And basically, obviously, with the Demon Hunters being free from the prison, showing up, and you can buy stuff from them, Demon Hunters will then be released, and you can take advantage of all of that altogether. Pretty fun stuff. Remember that the weapon drops are unique models that have a chance to drop. Okay? I'm going to assume that it's going to drop based on your class and your spec. So if there's one specific one that you want, make sure that you're on that class, you take advantage of all that stuff, because you don't want to miss out on these unique models if you so choose to get them. You can find them on Wowhead. I'm not going to show it in here, but if you want to see specifically what they are so you can know what you want to target, go to Wowhead. You'll be able to see them there. And now we're going to be talking about the stuff that will be gone once the pre-patch and then the expansion drops. Alright guys, and so now we come to the point where we talk about what is going to be leaving the game when the pre-patch drops and what is going to be leaving the game when the expansion drops. There's an important distinction between both of those things. So again, we are operating under the assumption that the pre-patch drops on the 19th of July. This would be Tuesday. Today, as of this recording, it is Friday, the 15th of July. It's 4 days. If it drops the next week, which would be on the 26th, let me go ahead and check that to make sure. We have basically a chance of it dropping on the 19th or the 26th. Regardless of which of those two it is, what gets removed with the pre-patch will be, first of all, starting the legendary quest. And if you are not on stage 2 by the time of the pre-patch, you will simply not be able to continue Legendary Ring Quest. Now, personally, the Legendary Ring Quest, it has some pretty cool lore moments. It has some really interesting things that you can go ahead and do. But honestly, I wouldn't sweat it about getting it done. I personally think that the Legendary Ring Quest was possibly the worst Legendary Quest in the entire game so far. I didn't enjoy it at all. It was more of a tedious process than an enjoyable process. I've done it twice now in 2 different characters. I wanted to kill myself after doing it once. There's a lot to be said about the way Legendaries and Legion are going to happen, but God help me if we ever get another Ring Quest again. It wasn't a lot of fun, but it has some lore moments and it gives you the achievement. So if you want to go ahead and get that done, you literally have about a month left. Whether you can get the entire quest done in a month, I have no fucking idea, if I'm super fucking honest, but keep that in mind. Starting the Legendary Ring Quest will be gone, and if you're not in Stage 2 by the pre-patch, it will also just be removed from your quest log. Next is the achievements for Archimonde. And, wait, let me check. I think it's just the Archimonde, Ahead of the Curve, and Cutting Edge. So, Cutting Edge is defeating Archimonde on a Mythic difficulty, and the Cutting Edge would be, or Ahead of the Curve, I guess. It's in here somewhere. Okay, well, I guess I just can't find it because I don't know what I'm doing. But the Cutting Edge, basically killing Archimonde on Mythic difficulty, and then killing Archimonde on Heroic or Normal. Basically, the achievements for getting that done before the next patch of the expansion, before the next thing coming out, that will be removed. Now, mind you, keep in mind, those are just achievements. They don't actually give you any sort of reward. If you see here, I got absolutely nothing for killing. Oh, so there it is, Ahead of the Curve and Cutting Edge. See, you don't get a title, you don't get a mount, you don't get anything for the achievement. It's basically a status symbol. That's all it is. So you don't have to worry about missing out on something special for that. But it does go away. The other thing to keep in mind is that you will be losing the Brawlers Guild. I don't know when it will come back. I don't know how long it's going to take to come back. But if you haven't done the Brawlers Guild, this will be gone with the pre-patch. And what can you get from the Brawlers Guild? Basically, you can get a couple of really interesting shirts. I'm not too big of a shirt person personally. My transmogs usually cover up the shirt. Honestly, I've been pretty lazy about the Brawlers Guild. I only went and got rank 8 like 2 days ago. And I did that specifically because once you get to rank 8, you can purchase... Well, not that. Let me go ahead and show you guys specifically what it is that you can purchase. There is a weapon that you can buy. That, I mean, is nice, but it isn't it isn't a big deal. It's just a Brawler's Razor Claws. You can purchase this heirloom. And then there is a mount, which is, let me see, Brawlers. The Brawlers Burly Mushan Beast. Overall, it's just a Kodo skeleton with a nice little polish. It's a nice mount. It's not super special, but this will also be gone when the pre-patch drops. Again, I don't know when the Brawlers Guild is going to be coming back, but it will be gone when the pre-patch comes out. The next thing to know is the challenge modes. You will not be able to do Warlord's challenge modes once the pre-patch comes out. If I'm being super honest with you guys, I'm going to release this video as soon as humanly possible. If you haven't done challenge modes by now, and you don't have a group to do them, if you have the opportunity, buy it. If not, you're hosed. You're fucked. There's really nothing else to say there. I did the Missa Pandaria challenge mode. So you can see here I have the challenge mode set on my monk besides the hat because it's retarded. And I purchased the challenge modes on my paladin in Warlord Strainer because I just didn't have the time to do it. If you have it available, if it's an option, buy the challenge modes. If not, you're just going to have to live without those special unique skins. To be honest, a lot of them are overplayed. They're not very cool. I have a lot of issues with the challenge mode weapon transmogs that you get from Warlords. But keep in mind, if you did it on one character, you get a token that unlocks all the appearances for all your other characters. You have access to all of it. All you have to do is on one character. And now we're going to go ahead and talk about what gets removed on August 30th, the launch of Legion. When that comes out, the heirloom trinkets from Mythic Dungeons will be removed. What are the heirloom trinkets from Mythic Dungeons? It's the trinkets that you get, such as the Judgment of the Naru, the Orb of Voicesight, the Purified Shard of the Third Moon, and the Infallible Tracking Charm. And there's one more motherfucking trinket that I still don't have. It is the Strength DPS trinket, the War Grand Tooth or something. Basically, if you go into Mythic Dungeons and you kill bosses, you have a chance of dropping one of these trinkets. The very first trinket that you get on an account level will be for the class and spec that you're playing at that moment. And from that point forth, you can get any of the other trinkets on any of that characters playing any of the Mythic Dungeons. Essentially, you kill the boss, it's a random chance you get it. You don't have to compete with anyone, it just drops for you. It's personal loot, regardless of whether you're doing the Mythic Dungeon in Master Loot or not. Now, if you really want all of them and you want that extra boost when leveling in Legion, highly recommend trying to get them all. I can tell you right now, the healer one isn't worth it. If you're a healer, even if you're a main spec healer, don't waste your time by putting your loot spec to heals if you're specifically going for the heirloom trinkets. It's not worth the effort. I would go for the DPS trinkets. Even the tank trinket is fucking miles and miles above the healer one. It's not really worth it in my personal opinion. But specifically the intellect DPS, the strength DPS, and the tank ones I think are the strongest of the three. Sucks that I don't have the strength with it. I'm going to try to work on it a little bit. But I have this theory in the back of my mind that my character is bugged somehow because I literally got all these trinkets within the first 2 weeks of doing them when Mythic Dungeons were first released. And since then I've never gotten another one, and I've been doing them almost every single week for months now, close to a year. So I don't really know about that, but remember that these will be removed when Legion launches, August 30th. Keep that in mind. The other thing that's going to be gone is the Grove Warden Moose. So what is the Grove Warden Moose? I can't believe I just closed that out when it was right there. Grove Warden. So this is the mount that you get for killing Archimon on Heroic. Essentially, you get a quest item. You take that quest item to Moonglade, you turn it into Malfurion, you follow him around, he fucking does old druid shit, and then you get this mount. I personally really like this mount. I think it's a beautiful moose. I think it's the only moose that's in the game right now. You will get other moose mounts later on, but I mean, come on, what's not to love about this? It's just fantastic. It's a little moose. It runs around. It has little blue trail effects everywhere sometimes. It's just a fantastic mount, and it will be gone when Legion launches on the 30th. So if you have the item in your bags and you still have the quest, you will be fine. But if you haven't killed Archimon on Heroic, you cannot get this item again after August 30th. So what does that mean? It means either buy a run or get a group together real quick, try to get it done in the looking for group finder or anything like that. Try to get it. It's a quest. Everyone gets it when you kill Archimon on Heroic. You just have to get that kill B in for that, and you should be able to get them. And even if you haven't finished the quest when Legion launches, you'll still be able to go ahead and do that. But obviously, I would just go ahead and do the quest immediately. Don't wait because you don't want to risk shit. The other thing that's going to be gone is finishing the legendary ring quest. Essentially, on the pre-patch, if you haven't started it or you're not on stage 2, you won't be able to continue it. If you haven't finished it by the literal launch of the expansion, the quests get removed from your logs. You will no longer be able to get the upgrade token thing, the crystallized fell, which just takes up room in my bags now, but I'm holding on to because I'm crazy and I want to make sure it's not useful for anything. This will no longer drop. You won't be able to finish the ring, and you won't be able to upgrade it anymore. And then lastly, what's going to be removed is the 100% drop rate for 2 mounts from Mythic from this expansion. And what are those 2 mounts? Well, the first one is, let me think. It's a boar. I can't fucking remember. Is it Black Steel? No, Black Steel Battle Boar. That's not it. Black Hoof Destroyer. You guys are going to laugh at me. But essentially, it is the Mythic Blackhand mount. That mount will no longer be a 100% drop rate. It will be a 1% or 4% chance, like all other rare mounts. And the Archimond mount will also be a... So the Felsteel Annihilator, this is the Mythic Archimond mount, will no longer be a 100% drop rate when Legion comes out. You can still get this mount. It's not gone. But it's going to be like other raid mounts that, have a very low drop rate. And if you get it, you fucking yippee, hooray, but you're going to be starting to farm this. And the other mount, because I will find it, I will not get through this video without finding it. I refuse. While also showing you guys my pitiful mount collection. I love mounts, and I have such a bad mount collection. Ironhoof Destroyer. This mount is the Mythic Blackhand mount. This is super easy to get. I highly recommend you just get a group together. You go kill them real quick. It's super fucking easy, especially if anyone has some legendary rings. Try to get some of these people this mount. But they will become a 1 to 4% drop rate when the expansion comes out. Just like other mounts, they're not gone, just harder to get. And guys, that's basically it. That's my Legion pre-patch survival guide. That's everything that I think that you guys need to know to go ahead and get through the pre-patch and be fine. We're just going to go ahead and reiterate one last time. It's the camera distance changes, the transmog appearance tab, cleaning out your bank and your void storage and your bags, making sure that you look for all the new toys that have been added to the toy box. You have to get rid of old materials. Keep in mind the Demon Hunters will be coming out a little bit later after the pre-patch, so a couple of weeks into August. And with that will also be the Demon Invasions that give you the Nether Shards to purchase specific ensembles, so for transmogrification, the unique weapon models that drop from doing the Demon Invasions, as well as the removal of things in the pre-patch and the removal of things on August 30th, the actual launch. So thanks guys for sticking around with me. I hope you guys appreciate this video. If you like this, go ahead and drop it a like. Subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. I will be making a survival guide for each of the tank specs coming out real soon. I'm trying to get this all out by the 19th, just in case that's the pre-patch date. And if you guys like this, share it with your friends. Let people know about this. This is the Legion pre-patch survival guide. Very general, very basic for everybody. You don't have to be a tank to take advantage of this. I hope you guys enjoy it. And I personally hope you all have a wonderful, fantastic fucking day. See you guys around.